Hello everybody and welcome to this video by the Vaidya's Chess Hub, and in this video we are going to learn the difference between a checkmate and a stalemate. We are going to look at 6 different positions to study as far as this topic is concerned, and we will clearly understand the difference. I'm sure if this video will help you understand, make it crystal clear, this concept of what is a checkmate and what is a stalemate. So let's get started with this first position I've set up for you. Now before we actually study a position, here is what stalemate actually means. It means that the king is not in check. I repeat, the king is not in a check, but there are no moves to make for that side, no legal moves, and that is a stalemate. The king is not in check, but the side has no legal move to make. Exactly what's happened in this position. In this position, it is black to play, and the king, as you can see very well here, has actually no place to go because the white queen controls the b file and also the a7 square. But the king at the moment is on a8 and is not in any kind of check. So there are no moves to make, and the king is not in check. So this is not checkmate, this is stalemate. Point noted. Now this will also be clear when we move to this position number 2. Now in this position, this is a best way to explain that. Earlier as well we had king and the queen, but it was a stalemate because there was no check. And now if you see here, the white queen is clearly delivering the check, and now the king has nowhere to go, finds no shelter because the queen has really controlled everything, and the queen cannot be taken because she enjoys the support of the king. So this is checkmate. The king is under check, and of course the king has no safe square. This is check and mate, checkmate. Okay, this is not stalemate, this is checkmate. Next position. Well, in this position, again, you see, don't be hasty, don't be mechanical. I've told you that in my lectures previously as well. You saw the similar kind of position or jump to conclusion. Another example of stalemate here, but no, look at the complete board. The black king is not in check, and yes, the black king has no moves. You're right about it because all the squares are controlled by the queen, but does not mean black has no legal moves. Look at this pawn here. So black certainly has the move h6 to h5, and so it's not a stalemate. White can definitely after that control the situation and inflict a checkmate upon his opponent, but this is not stalemate because black has one legal move to make. So make sure that you understand things correctly and the perspective is set right. Let's move to the next position. Now this is again very common to see. When the king gets the opposition, this is the end result often in a king and single pawn endings. This is again black to play, and the king has no safe squares, no moves to make because the pawn is controlled this particular square, and it's also controlling f8, and the king controls the f7 and d7 squares. But the king at the moment is in no sort of check. So again, if black to play here, it is stalemate. Remember that. This position. Now this position is interesting because it often occurs in the beginner's game where being a beginner, the player is simply not able to convert this one situation into a one game. Now what happens often? Unfortunately, it's white to play here, and white ends up playing rook to g7, which is stalemate. Because now again you see that it's black to play, but black has no moves. But the king, the place where he's standing on h8, there is no check, and there's no legal move to make. So no check, no legal move results in stalemate. That's exactly what unfortunately has happened here. What white should have played, he had a mate in 3 here. I wouldn't mind if you pause the video and found out it is white to play and mate in 3 here. Now if you had paused the video, I'm sure you came up with the correct solution. There is a waiting move the white will have to play. Let's say white plays the king to e7. It's black to play. Black has only one move, which is king h7. The king can then move to f7. Black will now have only one move left, which is king h8, and rook h6 will be checkmate. He should have gone about it that way, but in beginner's game, as I said, more often than not, we'll get this rook h7 stalemate. So be aware that the opponent could probably hold back and not resign, particularly in beginners games. They'll hope for a stalemate, and sometimes stalemate can actually be a very important device in the end games. You'll find out in this position here. Now it is white to play, and white is very happy with this position because he is just about to queen, because he's about to promote. So let's look at what happens in this game. White was very happy. He played c8 equal to queen, and seldom, of course, do players realize that there is something called as an under promotion. We'll come to that, but it's black to play here. Remember, white just promoted his pawn to queen, c8 equal to queen, and black has a wonderful move here. Again, I'll recommend that you pause here. It's black to play and try to find a trick to stalemate. You can pause the video. And if you had paused the video, you would have definitely come up with the answer. Yes, it is the rook c4 check. Now rook c4 check is a fork. Of course, you will say, what's the big deal? The queen can take the rook. Of course, queen can take the rook. And now it is black to play. And suddenly, you realize that the king is not in check, but the king has no moves to make. It is a stalemate. The game ends in a stalemate, although white should have won it. Now, did white have any chance to win this particular endgame? Yes. Now, this is what makes this a very interesting position to study. There is in chess something called as an under promotion. The normal way is always to go for a queen because she is the most powerful piece, but in certain special positions you'd rather under promote. So in this case, white clearly had the winning game. He should have played c8 equal to rook and not the queen, because now if the rook dares to give the check on c4, the rook can simply take, and the black king will still have the move a2 with him, which earlier in case of the queen he didn't have. So now white has a threat of his own. White is now threatening to play rook a8 checkmate. Now the only way black can stop this rook a8 checkmate is by playing the move rook to a4. And now again, you can pause the video if you want to and find the best move for white. And if you had paused the video, here's the answer: king to b3. What a move! Because now the king is threatening to win the rook, and in a way this is clearance because the king has just given way for the rook to come on c1 and deliver the checkmate. Black has absolutely no other move than to sacrifice his rook. Of course, over here rook takes, and after king b1, rook c2, king a1, and rook c1 is checkmate. So I am absolutely sure that you really like this concept of the under promotion, and also the fact that stalemate can be an idea, the last resort for a player to save the day and at least manage a draw or half a point. And it's important to study the stalemate. But this video, the focus of this video was also to clarify, to set the distinction right between what is a checkmate and what is a stalemate. So to conclude, when the king is in check and has no safe square, then it's a checkmate. If the king is not in check and has no move, the particular player has no move, no legal moves to make, then it is a stalemate. I recommend you set up these positions over the board and study them carefully. And if you have liked this, then give it a thumbs up to this video. Also subscribe to our channel, which is absolutely sincere when it comes to promoting chess. And as I always say, keep playing, keep enjoying, keep learning, and thank you so much for watching this video.